very good morning to all of you. Today we are going to see what are the salivary glands which are present in the human. There are three pairs of salivary glands are present in the human. They are parotid gland, second one is submaxillary or submandibular gland, the other one is sublingual gland. In addition to that, the other glands are also present in the buccal cavity of human. But majorly these three pairs of major salivary glands are present in the buccal cavity of human. Parotid gland, which is located in ear, very near to the ear, parotid gland is there. Submaxillary or submandibular, that is at angles of lower jaw. Sublingual, they are located just beneath the tongue. Okay, this is yellowish flattened gland. Predominantly it is a serous gland. Serous gland. I think it produces watery fluid plus salivary amylase, especially alpha amylase, an enzyme. Other name here is tyalin. Other name for that one here is tyalin. Now here, angles of lower jaw, the submaxillary or submandibular gland is there. It is some of cell are serous, so some cell are said to be serous. They produce watery fluid. Other cells are mucinogen cells. They secrete mucus. And salivary amylase, an enzyme is also secreted by them, and which is somewhat thick secretion because of due to the presence of a mucus. That mucus is not available in the secretion secreted by parotid gland. Okay, now here for sublingual, they are located just beneath the tongue, and they also produces a watery fluid and a very limited salivary amylase and enzyme may be secreted by that. limited salivary amylase is secreted by the secretions given by sublingual gland. The parotid, which is the largest salivary gland, largest gland in the human body is a liver. Now the largest salivary gland here is a parotid gland. Now submaxillary, this is a moderate size, that is a medium size, and sublingual, which are always will be small, minute in size. So these are minute in size. Here they possess only one duct. They also possess one duct. They possess nearly 6 to 8 ducts are there. 6 to 8 ducts are there for sublingual glands. All these glands, they secrete their enzymes or water fluid, whatever it may be, and finally they pour their secretions into the buccal cavity is by their ducts. Means they have a duct. Parotid gland, it will be opened into the buccal cavity is by a duct called as a Stenson's duct. Nearly 5 centimeter will be the length of that one. That will be opened at a particular area in the buccal cavity, that is upper second molar. That is opened at upper second molar. That is very important for all competitive examinations. Stenson's duct is the duct of parotid gland that will carry the secretions developed by the parotid gland, and it will be opened into the buccal cavity or upper second molar. Now submaxillary or submandibular gland also has a duct. Its name is Wharton's duct. That Wharton's duct also will be opened into the buccal cavity, especially is at central incisor. Central incisor is the place where it is open. Now sublingual, they also have a duct called as a duct of Revinus. Or duct of Bartholin. Particularly they are opened into the buccal cavity. Okay, and again its shape here is yellowish and flattened. Its shape here is walnut. Its shape here is almond. Nearly almost flattened, and also that will be look like as a almond in shape. Almond shaped one is a sublingual. Walnut shape is for submaxillary or submandibular. Now yellowish and flattened one is for parotid gland. Parotid gland. I think all these three are the important salivary glands are located in the buccal cavity of human being. Collectively they secrete saliva. This one and this one all will secrete. Such secretions are collectively together called as a saliva. Okay, saliva. What are the content are present in it? Nearly 99.5% water will be there. 0.5% solutes are there. pH 6.8 is the pH. pH is the 6.8. Now Cl minus ion, K plus, sodium ions, bicarbonate, carbonate ions, they are also present in it. And especially salivary amylase. That salivary amylase an enzyme which will work on carbohydrates, and finally carbohydrates are going to be digested partially in the buccal cavity of a human being due to the presence of this enzyme. Other name of this one here is tyolin. And one more another substance also present in it called as a lysozyme, antibactericidal natured substance, that is a lysozyme also present in the saliva. Okay, and instead of parotid gland, submaxillary, sublingual, the other gland here, infraorbital gland, is also present in all other mammals, but that gland is totally absent in the human. What is that? Infraorbital gland. Infraorbital gland. I think I write here infraorbital gland. Infraorbital glands, absent in man. Such glands are present in other mammals but completely absent in man. Their location just beneath the orbit of eye. They are completely embedded in the cheek and located just beneath the orbit of eye. They are completely embedded in the cheeks and they are present just beneath the orbit of eye. Infraorbital gland. And Ebner glands are also present in the human. That is Ebner's. They are simply located on the dorsal side of the tongue. Their location here is a dorsal side of tongue. Such Ebner glands are able to produce a lingual lipase, a kind of enzyme. The glands are producing lingual lipase. Lingual lipase, an enzyme is present in it that is meant for to digest the lipids. But the lipid digestion may not be happening in the buccal cavity because of the pH may not be sufficient for the action of lingual lipase. Okay, nearly 6.8 will be the pH found in the saliva of buccal cavity in the human body. That pH may not be sufficient for the action of lingual lipase. Hence, lingual lipase doesn't show its work to digest the lipid molecules which are present in the buccal cavity. Simply, partial digestion of carbohydrates maybe takes place in the buccal cavity due to the presence of salivary amylase only or ptyalin only. Okay. Now that ptyalin also here or salivary amylase, that enzyme also will work on carbohydrates. The glycogen, amylose, amylopectin, amylose, glycogen, etc. all are said to be polysaccharides. Here on amylose and glycogen, this amylose will work on and cleave them into maltose, maltotriose and limit-dextrins. So limit-dextrins, maltose, maltotriose molecules are maybe developed by the action of salivary amylase and enzyme which will work on amylose and glycogen molecules. Okay, we will see that. This infraorbital gland, it is open on last molar. All of you have to remember the last molar is the site where infraorbital gland is open, but generally it is absent in the man. You have to remember that infraorbital gland is completely absent in the human body, but wherever it is available, means other than the human, the other mammals, in them its duct will be open at the last molar. Now come to the sublingual, it will be opened into the buccal cavity, no specific area, just in the floor of buccal cavity only, is having nearly 6 to 8 ducts. Its ducts names are here, duct of Rivinus and duct of Bartholin. Now come to here submaxillary or submandibular gland. It has a duct in the name of Wharton's duct. It will be opened at a specific area in the buccal cavity, especially at central incisor. Now the parotid gland, it also has a one duct in the name of Stenson's duct, that also will be opened at upper second molar is the right place in which only that will be open and pour its secretions into that buccal cavity. So we have to remember this is the largest salivary gland, smallest salivary gland. This one is completely absent in the human body. Okay, but Ebner's glands which are located on the dorsal side of the tongue, they produces which one? Lingual lipase. That lingual lipase is meant for to digest the lipid molecules in generally, but lipid digestion may not be happened in the buccal cavity due to the insufficient pH. Okay, 6.8 will be the pH that present in the saliva. Okay, now what are the things are present in it? Means saliva. Already we said that. Once again, here saliva having 6.8 pH and amylase, an enzyme is there, Cl minus ions, sodium, potassium, carbonates, bicarbonate ions, even thiocyanate ions are also will be there, and especially lysozyme, that also is present, that will be antibactericidal in nature and it will kill the microbes which are present in the buccal cavity. and lingual lipase, which is coming from Ebner glands. Okay, this is saliva. The salivation is now under controlled by initiation of parasympathetic nerves. So parasympathetic initiation may causes the production of saliva. And sympathetic initiation it stops the releasing of secretion of saliva. Stops of salivation. Okay, I think this is the brief information regarding what are the salivary glands which are present in the buccal cavity, and finally they will work on which one? They will work on amylose plus glycogen, on which one is going to be acted? Salivary amylase in the presence of Cl- ions. Amylose and glycogen both are going to be broken down into maltose plus maltotriose plus limit dextrins. Maltotriose means having 3 monosaccharides. Now limit dextrins, a molecule nearly having at least 8 monosaccharides. Up to this only the carbohydrates are going to be digested in the buccal cavity in the presence of saliva. Okay, I think parotid glands are going to be inflamed and to become a mump. So mumps is a disease, that is inflammation is at parotid gland. Inflammation of parotid gland, that is due to the paramyxa virus. So a viral infection that may be happen to the parotid gland, that is now known as a mumps. Okay, I think up to the entire information regarding different kinds of salivary glands which are present in the human body, especially buccal cavity, is over. Okay.